Hi, it's Kyle Meredith, and welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith With, an audio interview series presented by WFPK Independent Louisville and Consequence of Sound. My guest today is Alex Maas of the band The Black Angels. They have a brand new record called Death Song that just came out at the end of 2017. We got to talk a lot about the themes that go on in it, as well as their connection with Native Americans, the topic of nationalism, and their current tour with the Black Lips that features the Mustachio Light Show. It's Kyle Meredith with Alex Maas of the Black Angels.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. The Black Angels and the Black Lips playing tonight at the Mercury Ballroom. It puts a smirk on our face every time because how often we screw that up. You did this on purpose, though, right? You're touring specifically because.
Yes, because just specifically because people get our bands confused. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if it's because you get your bands confused, but that it's sort of a thing. This is a thing people have been kind of poking you at for a little while. It's like, you guys should do it because you both have the word black in your name and you're sort of similar musically.
Yeah, it's people ask us why we did the tour, and it really the short answer is it just really makes sense for us to be on tour with these guys. We've known them for a long time. We've had them at Levitation once or twice, and seeing these guys all over the place and kind of cut from the same cloth a little bit, But those guys, they're really fun, wild bunch. They're good.
But it's a good show. There's another component here, the Mustachio Light Show.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What is that?
Well, from the get-go, when the Black Angels first started, we always wanted to pay homage to early Pink Floyd and Velvet Underground live shows. So Velvet Underground Andy Warhol would film these basically video compilations, put them together and play them behind the band while they would play. And so it's just another element of the show, a visual aspect. And we've always done that. And so our friend Bob, who used to be the drummer for the Warlocks, this really cool band from California, started getting into old vintage video production stuff, and we integrated him into our live show. He goes by the Mustachio Light Show. His last name is Mustachio, Bob Mustachio. So in doing that, it's almost like paying respect to the old Billy Graham shows from San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a part of the history of the genre of psychedelia and everything like that. I love how it comes and wraps back around,
Yeah.
One of those great freak out moments in the movies. That's the light show that you would see.
Exactly.
You've got of course, the new record is called Death Song, which was surprising because I know as a band, when they keep asking you years and years and years about your band name and you have to, it seems like you'd want to get away from that. And by doing this, you just put the whole ball back into play again.
Yeah. There's no question of where we got our name from. The other side of that coin of what an actual death song is. I don't know if you're too familiar with that, but in a lot of cultures, Native American cultures as well, they encourage their people to write a death song. That's what you write in times of peril or near death, or if you're afraid you're going to die, you write something called a death song. And it could be a chant, but something that gets you through those hard, tumultuous times. And that's kind of what that's what a death song is. So it's in a way music therapy, bringing you into the final stages of death.
That's not the only time, the Native American sort of comes in this record too, because specifically even Comanche Moon is a track on here, which in regards to the Native Americans versus everything that's happened to them with the government. And this has sort of been a theme with you for off and on for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've always had an infatuation with Native American culture and music. In part, they weren't typically trained, obviously, like a lot of indigenous primitive people. They weren't trained musically, but they just were singing music from their spirit, and they were teaching with their music. And that was the other thing, where to fish, where to hunt, and what berries not to eat, and which people not to trust, I'm sure. So that's that other part of the music, the Native American people and just a lot of indigenous tribes. I think that's really interesting how that was what they used music for, is for education and therapy.
And it's interesting, when I go back, and especially when you listen to a song like that, we don't we don't think about the Native Americans still having to deal with all the stuff that we read about in the history books, but it's still a thing.
It's still a huge thing, huge problem, and it's never been fair.
Yeah, I mean, even when we look back at what last year was Standing Rock and everything else, just these little blips come back in, and we see it for a moment. It's crazy. It's nuts.
It's wrong. It's really wrong, and it's that history. If you don't look at history and learn from it, it'll repeat itself, and that happens over and over and over. But it's really sad. It's really sad, the plight of the Native American people.
Yeah. Black Angels have their new record, Death Song, which has got these really cool moments all over it. I know there's a new video for the song Half Believing, which I read was sort of an homage to the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, the video was. It wasn't my concept. It was actually Christian's. But yeah, that's. I think everything could be homage to Twilight Zone, right?
I still watch it multiple times a week.
Yeah,
I go back. It's streaming and everything.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Like how the tape that they're using, how the film, the lighting, everything was just so amazing.
Yeah. I love it, and it's a cool video. That one just dropped just a few days ago, I guess. But it's out there. The other track I kind of centered in on here is I'd Kill for Her, because it's playful in a way. It's sort of the double thing, right?
Yeah. We like to write in double and triple speak. So what are they actually saying? What are they literally saying? And what can someone take from the song from themselves? But yeah, I'd Kill for Her to me has a lot of different meanings, and I think that's the way with a lot of songs that I personally write. A lot of songs for example, that one took was completed over like a year of time. So that's a lot of different inspiration that can go into a song day to day. As
I listen to it and everything, you've got the one point where it seems like it is about sort of a relationship, but there's a bit of a danger of nationalism that also kind of goes along here, which again,
absolutely.
It's sort of been a long-running theme for you all. The word frightening gets thrown around a little bit when you're talking about a Black Angels record, because that music can be, and in the most powerful way. I have a quote here that you're saying, being a musician is more about therapy than entertainment.
For me, yeah, it is. It is. And it's what you do with the power that you have as well. And that whole therapeutic part of it is the reason why I'm still playing. It's part of the, being on the road with these people. No offense, everybody on the band, and they're all crazy, and I'm in there too, crazy as well. So the music is so therapeutic. It's therapeutic for how crazy the world is, and what personal relationship things that might be happening in your life, from your relationship with your lover, or your politicians, or your bandmates, or the person behind the counter at the coffee shop. So it's all about communication, I feel like. And music is, obviously transcends, languages, cultures, and I never know make this joke, I never know what Tom York is ever saying, but I really like it. It's therapeutic. It feels good. I feel like I understand what he's saying, but I have no idea.
Right. It's interesting, the things you're saying and everything, because as we point out, a song like that and plenty of other moments around this record, but these songs were written like earlier. They were written before like any of the recent stuff, right? Yeah,
a lot of these songs were written from 2014 on.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to what inspires you to write a record, what inspires you as an artist, and to me and everybody in the band, it's the world. Mm-hmm. It's the cancer of the world, and it's the beauty of the world, but it's the world. It's not one specific thing. It's everything that goes behind in it. And that a lot of the things that we sing about, I feel, are issues that have been issues from the dawn of time. Or it's very obvious to me that you can write about a song that all of a sudden is like, oh, they wrote a song called "Don't Play It with Guns," and that just happened to be around the same time as this like shooting. It's like, aren't there shootings like every day? And like, there's been people shouldn't be playing with guns since the creation of the Peacemaker. That's like that was like the start of it. So I mean, that's to write in a way that kind of can appear timeless, in a way that you're singing about issues that have always been problems, not just current ones, and they're bound to be cycle and repeat. You can just lean on human nature for that, and it's going to be an issue again.
And unfortunately, your songs become relevant over and over and over in that sort of way. And I separate that, from the songwriting itself, melody and anything. It's you're right. It happens with everybody, and it happens with songs all the time. So I appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate the music. I love digging into a Black Angels record. Talking with Alex here, and again, the Black Angels and the Black Lips tonight at the Mercury Ballroom. You get the details at wfpk.org. Thanks so much to Alex Maas of the Black Angels for dropping by. Again, the new record is called Death Song. Don't forget to subscribe to Consequence of Sound's YouTube channel to keep up with your favorite artists and interviews, and wfpk.org. That's where I do a show every Monday through Thursday from noon to 3 Eastern. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.